Can Christians work at bars? Let's get into it. How you guys doing? My name is Jonathan AZAREL of Vina. The purpose of this channel is to contextualize the gospel to the best of my abilities. Today's topic is, can Christians work in bars? Should Christians work in bars? Let's get into it. This is the Now perspective, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you can consider liking and subscribing, the usual shenanigans. If you enjoy this video, please do so. If not, well, reconsider. You're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. First step is admitting. Okay, anyways. Today's topic is, can Christians work at bars? I worked at a bar for about 4 years myself as a Christian. I will say, up to 3 years working into this bar, I felt pretty darn good, pretty okay. Everything was normal for me. I will say once I hit that 4th year, things started to take a little bit of a turn, right? A little bit of background on myself. My dad's side of the family struggled with alcoholism. He himself was an alcoholic, my father, before giving his life to Christ. Once he gave his life to Christ, he gave all that up. It was a day of Halloween for him. So super, super impactful. And he always spoke up. He always told me the dangers of being an alcoholic, of following the footsteps that he did when he was younger. And honestly, it pushed me away from drinking alcohol. That plus being a Christian, understanding that there is consequences for my actions, and then also working at a bar pushed me from drinking for the first 3 years. And I'll tell you why. There was these things called spitters. Spitter buckets, for you guys that don't know, are buckets where you dump the leftover alcohol from beer, from wine, from whatever you're serving, all the alcohol into these buckets. And of course there's straws, there's limes, there's skewers and whatnot that you can't just dump down the sink or else it'll clog it up, obviously. So they would dump them in these spitters. And so my job for the first couple of years was to be a bar back. So I would take these spitters, take them to the sink, throw them in this strainer, spray it down, get all the plastic, separate it, melt down all the ice, and then take these buckets back up empty, clean, so they can dump more alcohol. I was also the person that would clean the bar, that would get fresh cups, that would get new bottles, that would change the kegs, that would blank, blank, blank. You run the food, cook food, right? You name it, dishwasher, all that. Anything that the bartender needed, I was doing it, right? That's the bar back's job. This bar was a very busy, very popular bar in Seattle. I'm not going to disclose which one it was. It's not really important or relevant to this video. However, I was a Christian, like I mentioned, while working at a bar, right? And again, the first 3 years were fine. I learned a lot. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to work as a team. I learned how to work hard, like really hard. I worked long hours and with minimal breaks and whatnot. But hey, it was really good money, right? And so that's probably one of the things that kept me going to this place. Especially with big events, it was really, really, really good money. So with that being said, up to the 3 years working there, I didn't really crave alcohol like that. I didn't really have a desire for it. I saw the way that people talked to each other, spoke to each other, people that were married, how they would talk to people without their wives being present, or sometimes with their wife being present, or vice versa. The women, how they would talk to other men. It was crazy, man. And honestly, kind of draining. At this point in my life, I really wanted to get married. I hadn't met my wife yet, but I wanted to get married. I wanted to find a woman to settle down with. But seeing things like this really discouraged you, especially at a young age. However, thank God I had a mother and father that loved each other, that showed that love, that loved God first and foremost. So seeing that relationship really locked in my thought process of, yes, there is such thing as a healthy marriage without cheating, without back talking, without having to go through all these debaucherous things, right? So back to the bar, I was working at this bar. When it hit the 4th year, I started to go down this spiral of, do I believe in God fully? Do I believe in what I'm doing with the youth, with the band? What do I believe in really? I was I didn't have anybody as far as a relationship. I felt alone at some points of this, right? And so again, working at this bar, you're surrounded with a whole bunch of different perspectives that are not Christian, a lot of value systems that are very broken. A lot of people around you have a certain way of talking, right, as you can imagine. And again, very much against the Christian worldview. And so it all started to feel a lot normal to me, right? And very normal to me. And the feeling and the abuse of alcohol started to become less of a sin and more of a thing that people do, right? And with that being said, it's when it started to scare me. And that fourth year, I was really struggling. I was in the point of, if I stay here, I'm going to drink. If I stay here, I'm going to partake in the surrounding language, in the surrounding way of being, in the surrounding way of thinking, in the surrounding way of taking a drink, right? And because it was free, it's access to excess, right? That's when you start to see your true colors. And right, and so because I was a Christian, I told myself, oh, I can do this, I can do this. But at the back of my mind, I had to be honest with myself and say, honestly, if I stay here, I am going to fall under temptation, because I am not Superman. I don't care who you think you are. You staying in a situation with a certain type of people around you, you then start to mirror those actions, right? It doesn't matter who you are, right? You will then partake in those actions slowly and surely, right? So for those of you that are considering possibly working at a bar, for those of you that are working at a bar, right, and are Christian, right? If you're not Christian, what are you watching this video for, right? But those of you that are Christian and maybe have felt the conviction inside of you, dwell inside of you, and God's telling you this isn't the place for you, I want to encourage you to possibly to take that step, to pray about this, to really ask yourself in a couple years, where can I be? Where can this lead me, right? Is it a positive place closer to God, or is it a place that's way far from God, right? Is it a place where, maybe the financial is good, right? Maybe I'm making a ton of money in this field. However, I am not bringing any positive value to people while doing this, right? Getting people drunk is not something that you should be proud of. It wasn't something that I was proud of. Once that fourth year hit, I was training to be a bartender. Again, it did not feel good getting people drunk, right? It was something that I told myself, you know what, at this point, if I'm serious about being in a relationship, if I'm serious about God, I need to take action. I need to step out of this circle, right? And so that's what I did. So I encourage you, if you're doubting, if you're in the edge, if you're considering possibly working in a place like this, right? Again, I'm not judging you. I'm just giving you my perspective, because I was there, right? It was easier for me to stay here. It was easier for me to keep these shifts, to keep this money, to keep this income, right? Because it felt like easy money, the amount of money I was making. Just to, well, I probably shouldn't throw numbers out there, but it was good money. Anyways, I had to tell myself, God, what do you want from me in this lifestyle? Is this something that I can be proud to tell my kids about? At the end of the day, for me, I answered too many no's on top of yeses when it came to, is it a net positive or a net negative, right? So again, I do encourage you to pray about it. I encourage you to seek out, if you have people in your circle that can be real with you, people that are Christian, people that have the perspective of, not just a yes man or someone that wants to make you feel good, but someone that will tell you the truth regardless of your feelings, someone that's grounded in the truth, which is the Bible. I encourage you to, before you take that step, to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What's going to be the outcome of this? And will it strengthen my relationship with Christ, right? The answer to that, in this case, to me, was ultimately no, right? So thank you again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast. I just really want to be concise with these videos. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the most value that I can give. So I hope you took some good out of this. And if there's anything that you disagree with, please let me know. I am here. Again, they want really to debate. I don't want this to be a debate thing, but if you want to smoke, we can go there. But honestly, I pray for you guys. If there's anything, again, that you guys want me to touch base on, you guys want to talk about, let me know. I'll try to get to it. And this isn't my full-time thing, but I am trying to do this working a full-time separate job. So there's still a lot of work to do, but I'm here to do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace.